So we owe an explanation to you all whether he is really independent. Because there should be no double standards. If the public listed companies have to adhere to a 3-year rule, all other companies in Singapore, even government-linked companies, must also adhere to a 3-year rule. Then we can be independent. If you elect Tony in, there's a saying in Hokkien, "Wa theng bo wa liao." In other words, the soup is changed, but the ingredients remain the same. Now, coming to a more serious aspect of this election, many of my opponents tend to treat this as a general election. This is very dangerous. There must be no two centers of political power in Singapore, or this country will fall. There must be only one center of power. As far as the presidency is concerned, I don't want to be that another power, because the power, you all have voted in a government that's running the country, that is the power. But as the president, I will have to look after certain things, that is your reserves, your appointments of top civil servants, to make sure that the ruling party, when they want to make use of the reserves that is rightly yours, I will have to ask them the relevant questions. But the cabinet's role is to be respected. I think we must respect them. Remember, whatever we do, we must think Singaporeans first. We must not destroy this place by pushing issues that will make the two offices clash. If you want to treat this election like a general election, then they must go somewhere else and fight as an MP and get into Parliament. Because as a president, I cannot make promises. I cannot say I want to change your pension rules. I cannot say I want to give you a lot of money to the national service people. I cannot. And I would be ashamed if I make such promises and I do become a president. I cannot do it, because that is the role of Parliament. The people have already chosen an opposition voice to the Workers' Party. I think let us give them room to express themselves. Let us give them room to check on the ruling party. That is the role, not the president going and check them. I shall not be confrontational to the ruling party, but I can report a wrong, and I can warn them if they make very bad decisions. But so these, I must know my limits. It's not that we are weak, but the veto powers of the president are very, very powerful tools. Because if I veto the budget, for example, then the nation will stand still. But we don't do things irrationally. They must give you reasons why they want to dip into the reserves, why they need the reserves in the presentation, say, of next year's budget. So the responsibility of the president, The veto power of the president is very, very strong. So if people tell you the president's got no power, don't believe them. But let's say in a recession, I cannot have a resilience package. Let me explain. Because when I heard Tony said that he wants to have a resilience package in these dark clouds that he painted, the dangers that's going to come before Singapore, the economy is going to turn very bad. I mean, there's a lot of truth. We must be very careful. All these do happen, can come. But we must not instill fear in all of you. He called me mischievous because I told him there are many Singaporeans who would not stand up side by side with me because of fear. He said that I was being mischievous. I think he doesn't know the ground. You see, the president cannot be seen to be helping to plan a package and then approving it later. This is conflict of interest, right? You cannot plan and then you approve later. I think cannot. I think Finance Minister Taman must plan the financial package. Then he brings his package to me and my advisors to see whether the options, the procedures that they took to ensure that the package before me has been thoroughly screened. And if I see that the package is necessary to save your jobs, to make sure that you have food, because sometimes in the recession can be very, very bad. I think I won't stop it because that is your livelihood, and as a president, I will not stop it. But if they frivolously just want to take money from the reserves, I will not allow it. If the process is not correct, the procedures are not there, the options are not there, they won't get a single cent. But I trust Taman. I think Taman is a good finance minister. And in this, and should there be a financial crisis, I will listen to him. But as I said, I will not plan the package with him. That's what Tony wants to do. Because I don't want to plan with him and then I approve it later on. It is just not right. I think independence is very important. But how can you, I'm not going to say that I'm independent. Because I have to show you my records in the past, whether I'm really independent. Because if you don't have an independent mind and you go to Istana, I think I will do wrong things for you all. So I must be independent. When I was a member of parliament, if I don't believe that in the issue, I will not vote for it. So when there was an issue of the nominated members of parliament came before me, I asked myself, is this right for Singapore? I said, no. Is this right for the party? Yes. But which one is more important? The country comes first, you have to vote against it. So that you have to have that independent streak. In 1999, I asked the government to tone down the foreign talent policy because I was receiving a lot of feedback from all of the young people of Singaporeans having difficulty in getting a jobs, and the government was pushing too hard the foreign policy, foreign talent policy. I had to challenge them, and they took me to task. I was scolded in public, but I took your pain. So, if something is wrong, I will tell you. That's my motto. Now, there's another area that you should know. The president must have good advisors. I can appoint 2 good advisors to help me. And I will choose men or women. I'm looking for them, men or women, to make sure that I pick the right people, because these advisors are very important. I have to make sure I find one who is financially capable, and I want to find also someone who's very good in constitution, in our constitutional law, because these are the 2 areas. Should I get voted into Istana, I got to be very, very well advised. And you've got to admit, sometimes we are not expert in everything. You need advice. And it's good to have good advisors. I will have another 4 people nominated by Prime Minister, nominated by Chief Justice, and I think the PSC. So altogether there will be 6 advisors advising me. And I think as a responsible president, you need this good advice. I will not act alone. I will make sure that with this advice given by all these good people, then I will help, I will make that decision. But there must be transparency. You want to know what I'm doing in Istana. So I will have to give you an annual report. I will give you an annual statement. I will tell you whether the reserves have been dipped in. I will tell you the appointments that has been taken place. I will let you know your CPF, because your CPF are in special Singapore bonds. Now these will be affected sometimes by changes in the money market and so on. So be very careful, I will be very careful. But you have a right to know. So I will give you a report. And also I will make sure that this report covers quite a number of the activities that the President will be doing in Istana. Now I come to why I have the palm as my symbol. You see, each frond of this palm represents the racial mix of Singapore and our racial culture. So the palm, all the fronds of the palm represents our multiracial concept. We must strengthen multiracialism in Singapore, because Singapore belongs to everyone. It's not just one race, it belongs to all of you. And the trunk represents all the races coming together, taking root here in Singapore. So we will have to make sure that multiracialism will remain the cornerstone of Singapore. I also worry about the political divide. And I think it's impossible to get 2 political parties together and let them and tell them to be friends. No, because each of them has got their own political ideology. But I must remain neutral. I must be the bridge between all these political parties, because if they clash too much, this country will suffer. I want to be that bridge to bring them all together, for example, at social functions. Maybe at a football game where all of them can cheer together as one voice for the national team. But I will make sure all the charities will be taken care of. I will want to promote all these charities and other social events. There are many active citizens in Singapore, very eager to promote their causes. If they are good causes, I will encourage all this. Finally, when you go to Istana, I think I want to make sure that I have my lovely wife with me. She is a very capable woman, and she will do you proud as a First Lady. Thank you.
Singapore, let's hear it once again for Dr. Tan Cheng Bock. And now to present a token of respect and honor to Dr. Tan Cheng Bock, we have Babar Singh Sidhu, who's a stroke patient for 9 years, who was wheelchair bound and is today walking because of Dr. Tan, to present him this shawl.
Ladies and gentlemen, your choice is clear. You know who to vote for. Who do you vote for? Who do you vote for? Who do you vote for? A true unifying figure. A true unifying figure.
Tan Cheng Bock.
A true unifying figure.
Tan Cheng Bock.
Think Singapore first.
Tan Cheng Bock.
Think Singapore first.
Tan Cheng Bock.
Think Singapore first.
Tan Cheng Bock.
Who do you vote for?
Tan Cheng Bock.
Tan Cheng Bock.
Tan Cheng Bock.
Tan Cheng Bock.
Tan Cheng Bock. Thank you everybody. 谢谢各位，谢谢各位，晚安。
My fellow Singaporeans, brothers and sisters, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good night, all of you. Take good care, drive carefully, take the MRT train. It's easier to go back.